I love how we just get started and then Spot like flips out.
True
He
cat
is a
behavior.
he's a
Yeah,
ginger
right?
cat. He's a ginger kitty, you know.
True cat chaos. For sure.
Craziest of all kitties is the ginger kitty.
Craziest of all kitties is the ginger kitty.
Oh yeah. Now she's not afraid to be on. Before she was like, "Oh, I don't want to be on the camera," and now she's like, "Oh, it's a camera." Hajima.
Oh, there he is.
Oh yeah, right front and center. There you go, big guy.
There we go.
Right?
Still can't see myself.
Yeah.
There we
I
go.
still haven't recreated the screens yet for the limited use of my overlays. I keep forgetting to get that done, but hopefully I'll be forgiven, slightly forgiven. Well, welcome back, everybody. Last session was pretty interesting. The team had traveled to the volcanic shale, or a place where supposedly this great red dragon resided, based on the group scrying on the creature, locating the Sky Reacher and understanding what the potential threat was. But it just didn't make any sense because the Voik clan of the Elk seemed to favor the destruction and annihilation of dragons. Well, it seemed that a rift had caused both the fire plane and the material plane to collide at this point. And it was here that the remains of the red dragon eventually became this great ancient red dragon that is said to be the primordial existence of Thordak himself. And this great ancestral creature nearly was successful in destroying the team as they made their way into its partial realm to retrieve the Sky Reacher. This allowing the team to not only save Sky Reacher, but confirm that one of the simulacrum of the lizard shaman that has
Vassaris.
been Vassarisk, yeah, has been kind of on that laundry list of contention and in the service of Mason. So we now know that quite possibly either one, I believe, or either one copy remains, including the original Vassarisk as well, potentially remains. And for whatever reason, Mason, in his now new vampiric form, had sent this copy of Vassarisk to try to retrieve what we now know to be the primordial firestone, a stone that was enshrouded in the lighthouse here in the shale. But when it collided with the fire plane, it seemed to absorb the energy and power of the fire plane. In hopes of escape and avoiding the primordial red dragon, it was Earthen's creative use of plane shift that got everybody out. The Ironbound, the Sky Reacher, and the rest of the team has now bamped out into the midst of the astral sea. And that is where we last left off. What would you guys like to do?
Breathe first. So
Fair.
yeah. So Puck, I've got the headband that lets me breathe underwater. Spot doesn't need to breathe, but we're in the astral sea and it's not like air out there.
Can we breathe in the astral sea?
Not really. Only if you're in certain situations. You can move within the astral sea. There's things you can do. But unfortunately, underwater breathing would be required to maintain your ability to breathe in the astral sea.
Fun fact, I do not have underwater breathing on my spell slots because I did not see how that would be useful in a fight in the fireplace. Or any
Yeah.
reason.
But
I can put Puck on my shoulders and just swim up to the surface.
There is
The
no
surface
surface.
of where?
Oh, that would work.
Wrong
That's a good point.
sea.
Is there like
That's
a
good
big,
point.
is there like a big rock, like a meteor floating in the astral sea, or some flat surface?
Give me, please.
Okay. 20? Dirty 20?
Yes. Not far below you, because of the random transference, the way that Earthen had popped you guys all out of the material plane and into the astral sea, there is a large chunk of just kind of like floating rock directly down below you, maybe a good 1,000 feet away.
Can I use wind wall to propel us?
As you begin to think towards it, you actually start moving towards it.
Oh, rock. Big rock.
Earthen follows Puck.
And I'll follow on down.
Just think about it.
You watch as the Ironbound and Skyreacher stare at each other in complete and like utter misunderstanding. Like they have no idea what's going on. And
Think
they
about it.
pass-
Just think about it.
Give me a persuasion check. Give you one chance before they pass out unconscious due to lack of oxygen.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. They hear you say that and they're a little confused. So they think about it. And then you watch the two of them quickly and awkwardly begin to float down towards you. And they're kind of panicking. So now they're moving faster. And the speed at which their thought process is like projecting them even faster. They zip right by the four of you. And they kind of cause each of you to tumble slightly as they're now hurtling towards the surface of the chunk of rock down below.
Oh boy. Nope. If I tell them to stop, they're gonna mess it up. Oh, it's just they'll be all right. They'll be all right. We'll help them if they get down there. Just get down there. I still have my ring of fly active.
What the Ironbound's a monk, isn't he?
What's that?
The Ironbound is a
Well,
monk.
he's a kind of monk. He's
Okay,
not a traditional monk in the sense. And they're not falling.
Yeah.
They're just
Moving.
you
Really
begin to
fast.
realize that movement in the astral sea is about your thought process.
So I'm thinking really hard about the two of them.
Yeah, they're there.
Like, go stop those guys. Oh, get to them. Oh, faster.
You start chasing after them, at which point, in a panic, you can literally hear them scream just as before they slam into the ground. But out of fear of hitting the ground, you get the feeling that they were thinking if only they could stop. And like within an inch of the ground, like they just stop and then gently kind of like put their feet down. But as soon as all of you come in contact with the rock, you feel your breath. You feel yourself kind of as the membrane of wild space around this rock allows you to breathe.
Why do you guys all look out of breath?
Fucking monks. Fucking monks.
Do we still need to destroy that sphere?
The gem.
The flaming.
Is it still on fire? Is the question I actually like to ask.
The moment you cross into the astral sea, the fire would have gone out.
Whew.
The rock itself is still blazing with the arcane energy that you remember seeing before it protectively started becoming on fire. But it appears to still be slightly intact, but it is heavily damaged.
So do we want to break it?
I think we have to destroy this thing, right?
Do we have any way to incur more information about it, especially now that we have it here?
I can try.
You guys.
I can identify it or try to identify it, as well as detect magic. I can cast both at the same time and try to figure out what the heck's going on with this thing.
And
You're gonna
something
identify or detect magic?
I will detect magic first and then identify.
It definitely gives off magical kind of like a magical pulse of energy, but it's not any school of magic that you're familiar with.
There is a spell I haven't really thought to use until now that I would like to see if I can attune to this, which is locate objects.
What are you trying to locate?
I'm just want to get like a good sense of this so I could use locate object in the future to find others like this. And also primeval awareness if I can kind of get that in there as well.
Okay. Give me a investigation of the rock while Earthen's trying to identify it.
Yep.
What is with my rolls? This is ridiculous. 7. Can I try again with primeval awareness?
Sure. You could use that as your method of focusing and trying to get this stone to reveal itself even more.
Oh, thank God. Okay, that's 23.
The stone is old. It reminds you of the other beacons that you've seen before, but slightly different in purpose. The one that you remember Mason leaving with was inactive. It was a beacon stone, but it was no longer functional when he stole it from the remains of the captain. There's also the active stone near the Voik clan, the Voik elk clan. Although you don't remember seeing the stone specifically, it did give off a light, an effervescence. Once again, this stone is giving off a kind of red iridescent light, but the stone is quite fractured and suffered a lot of damage in the encounter with the primordial red dragon. But its purpose feels the same as the others, but has a distinct difference about the way its magic is utilized.
Sorry.
There goes Santa.
What'd you do?
I think my fiance is cooking. I'll be right back.
Cooking? What's he cooking? Nitroglycerin? Kaboom.
That's actually the beacon's warning sound, right?
Yeah, I was just like, whoa, that was cool sound effect. So from your perspective, Puck, you get the feeling that the story of the 9 beacons has both something to do with the 9 prime deities, as well as how they are tethered in between planes of existence. If there was a lighthouse in the volcanic shale, then there must have been a purpose, or in the Vulcan Heights, there must have been a purpose for it being there. You get the feeling that the collision that the rift energy made with the plane of fire created an alternate way upon which the stone began to exhibit its power. It had been changed. It had been malformed by the collision. And now this is not quite a beacon as much as it is a stone that was used to be a beacon that has now become absorbed with fire elemental energies and is no longer what it was once before.
I tell everyone all of that. And if it does contain an elemental power to it, I would like to see if there is any way to attune to that.
Take a little bit of time, but you can certainly begin to try to attune to the stone. And Eartha, you cast Identify.
Yes, sir.
You know how I know we've played together for almost 2 years? This is my second year that I have to contend with allergies. So I apologize. So as you identify it, nothing is revealed to you, which tells you that it's a relic. The fact that it doesn't reveal itself also tells you that it may not be a relic of the material plane.
All right. while Puck is trying to attune to it, can I break out my my jeweler's tools and just kind of take a look at it and see if I might be able to not necessarily repair, but kind of like stabilize it so it doesn't get more damaged while she's
Yeah, it's actually it's a
I
pretty
can mend
easy
it.
trick. It's a
I
pretty
can mend
easy,
it.
or you could try to mend it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, rather than trying to chisel away at it. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
use
and
mending and try to repair it with mending.
kind of like as Puck is gently holding it, Spot kind of guides your hand, Earthen, as you mend it, so that the
Yep.
three of you are kind of working together as you're beginning to kind of slowly and magically kind of mend and repair the stone that is boiling inside with obvious fire or elemental fire magic that's inside. Puck's eyes are currently in a meditative state as she's got them closed. She's trying really hard to will herself to kind of attune to the stone. Zenith, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to describe that. I don't know what the heck magic this is. It's not from anything that I'm unable to identify what magic is on this thing, and that's like one of two reasons can cause that, and it's either a relic of some bygone age that has way more power than your run-of-the-mill stuff, or it's not from our plane, from the material plane.
What? Let me ask you this: since I'm already kind of trying to work on this thing, I don't actually want to do any damage to the stone. But can I make basically an unarmed strike against it, not intending to actually harm it? I just want to have my hand against the thing.
You want to see if it defends itself.
Kind of, but
Okay.
I want to make physical contact with it.
It's
Anyway.
incredibly hot to the touch, which is strange because Puck doesn't seem to notice, or maybe it's not purposely trying to cause her harm. You're not sure. But as you strike it, physically striking it causes it to overheat, like causes it to spark with flame and energy when you physically come in contact with it, other than the way that Puck is currently in contact with the stone.
Let me read something really fast.
You're gonna break it. Stop. Very delicate process to fix this thing.
Zenith, give me a perception check as the three of them are working on the stone. As you begin to kind of realize you're in the middle of the astral sea, standing on like a giant fragment of rock.
Okay. That's a 9 plus 11, a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As you stand there focusing on it, you begin to realize that it is moving. It's drifting, just not quite as significantly as you'd expect. Looking in different directions around you, you can see that there are other fragments of rock. But there's something strange about the one you're standing on. There's something strange about the ones that you see. They're not paying attention, but you watch as a kind of like a bastioned tower of stone just slowly goes tumbling by, and it looks like the ruined remains that would be part of a castle. You then watch as like a large stone outer wall kind of drifts by and then drifts away. The stone that you're standing on is drifting and tilting from time to time just from its kind of the way it is in the astral sea. But then you realize you're in amongst a field of dozens of these large chunks of stone until at last this larger piece drifts by, not tumbling, but drifts by as an exposed section of a very large familiar castle is drifting by.
A familiar castle? Does it look like Strahd's castle?
It
Or the
looks like the
castles?
one that Mason was using as his base of operations on the Pebbles Throw.
I don't know where we've been dropped, but look at that chunk. It looks exactly like the castle that we saw Mason in, like a different piece of it.
Uh,
I thought he was pulling the castle out of I didn't think he was pulling it out of the astral plane.
And then the minute Xan says that, like is pointing out that detail and saying that, you watch as there's a huge kind of bright light that pulses, a mile-long stretch of energy of purple flare cracks, and then you watch as one of the drifting rocks gets too close, it falls through it and is gone, and the exposure of the rift closes behind it.
What the hell was that?
Another rift. Things are getting pulled through.
Oh.
This is a dangerous place to be. We do not want to get sucked through that rift. We don't want to lose another couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How far away is that chunk of the castle that was drifting by?
Couldn't be more than maybe a couple thousand feet away.
I know this orb thing is potentially, I don't know if it's time sensitive. Maybe we should take a look at the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if that details matters, but do you remember what was her name? Thornbrook? Blackthorn?
Thornbrook, yeah.
Thornbrook. The Fae hag that we met said that she often returns to the Astral Sea. No, sorry, to the Shadowfells to look for her loved ones. So that's a different space. Never mind.
I definitely was not going to take us there.
Good. Cool.
But yeah, you think we can get this rock to move closer to that rock, or are we just going to have to float ourselves over there?
I feel like I can control my movement with my mind.
I want to continue attuning to this rock. Does anybody mind kind of just like I can tie a little rope around me and somebody can just kind of
Pull you along.
Yeah, like the Ironbound.
That's fine.
Spot
The
has a tail. He
Ironbound
needs
has already
rope.
put a green
So we-
bottle on his back. Kind of has a fashioned almost like a carrier, and then kind of picks up Puck and kind of elbow arm carries her to kind of freely be able to drift on over. I believe Punch is with you guys, right?
No, Punch
Lunch.
is with a Voik.
Oh, that's right. Punch is with the Voik, but Lunch is still with you.
But lunch
Well,
is in the
he's
pocket.
Yeah.
a coin. He's a coin, yeah.
Yeah, Lunch turned back into the coin in your pocket. So you guys watch as the Ironbound has green bottle and Puck, and begins to kind of like walk in that direction at first, and then he leaps and starts thinking about traversing over to the other rock. And you watch as he's kind of like awkwardly drifting and arcing towards the other stone, the other huge piece of the remnant of the castle. More of like the core of the castle, like the keep itself, more of the buildings, like what would be considered like the heart of the castle, is kind of the part that's floating nearby.
Skyreacher, are you okay to try this too?
Better than where I was. And she runs and jumps in the air and starts drifting after the Ironbound.
All right.
All right, I'll follow.
Woo-hoo.
One by one, you guys begin to drift in the direction of this old, battered chunk of rock and old castle. The Ironbound lands first, and then eventually all of you kind of touch down. And it's almost like a snapshot of time. The petrified trees that look withered and like skeletal hands. These sunken in sections of old kind of like peasant huts nearby. There's even like the bones of an old cow that's long decayed and just bones kind of laid out on the ground. You can see the jagged and broken trail that goes about 100 feet in front of you that would take you to the interior of this now collapsed in castle, this old collapsed castle. It's like it just feels frozen. It reminds you of the place on the Pebble's Throw, but the section of the castle that you could see into, you actually seen in and through the castle, so you could see kind of out beyond. Like you get the notion that you're staring at the hole in the interior where the chunk of castle used to be that Mason is now using. So you definitely know it's from this. As far as your investigations and everything tells you, this is Strahd's castle. This is where all that information about this infamous vampire resided in, but it's all fragments now, destroyed, chunks of it floating in different directions. But this appears to be the main heart of that castle.
What the hell happened here?
Does it look like the same chunk that we've seen, or does it look like a different piece of the inside of the castle?
It looks similar in nature, like very similar to what you've already seen. As if a chunk of this had floated off at some point, and maybe descended through one of the rifts, landed in the Pebble's Throw, and Mason had discovered it there. It feels like it might be connected to his plans somehow too, although that plan is still not entirely well known to you guys. You know he's seeking the beacons. You know he's hoping to maybe have the 9 prime beacons under his control for the purposes of whatever need he has for them, to execute whatever plot he's been working on. So far, that's been his main fixation, has been collecting these beacons. Currently has one that's inactive. You guys have one. And we know that there's one that's active on the Dragon's Breath Isle in the Shattered Isles where the Elk Clan are.
Maybe it's not such a good thing to keep this beacon out. Like, I don't know how that scry thing you do works, but if you could scry on an object, he could be scrying on us right now.
Yeah, it's true. He could definitely be scrying on us.
But I
What?
guess. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go first.
You guys have, and sounds like Spot as well, has taken a look at this thing. Do you think that during the battle it felt like we were trying to destroy it? Do you think we're still trying to destroy it, or are we just trying to hold on to it?
Well, the one that we saw on the turtle was inactive. It's unclear why he took it when he did. It is entirely possible that it became inactive because the turtle died, allowing him to take it with less repercussions if there's some kind of defense mechanism around those. I mean, the one in the Shattered Isles makes people forget who they are. There is some kind of curse around it. This one, when the lizard guy tried to take it, he burned to death. So maybe it might be to his benefit if we break those or make them inactive. We don't really know enough.
So you think we should just hold on to it because we don't know?
It did get us here.
Did we think that breaking it would terminate the connection between the fire plane and the material plane? That would be how we would send them back?
Yeah, that's how it felt. Like you were trying to weaken that breach. Like you're trying to weaken the connection between the two planes of existence that were being bound by the stone. So it's near destruction and then kind of shifting out of the material plane at the same time caused that merger to collapse and no longer allow it to happen.
Okay. So we think we've already done what we need to do in order to sort of weaken that connection.
Without knowing specific, I mean, you feel like you stopped something from happening.
Okay.
And sent the primordial dragon back to the fire plane. That much feels purposeful to you because
Okay.
it didn't follow you here, which means it was either not capable to or it didn't know where you went, therefore couldn't follow you.
Mhm.
On a side note, you also know that you can't be scryed on by Mason. Mason is currently on the material plane. You are not. Scry only works if you're on the same plane. Now, if he does scry on you, that tells you he's in the astral plane.
Mhm.
But so far, no immediate sense that you're being watched.
So he could scry at us when we came back, but not now.
Well, you can certainly try.
Yeah.
Another idea is to see if any of us can use the beacon to reach to other beacons in some way, or to the fire planes to see if we can, I don't know, see if we can.
We've not had a really good relationship with the fire plane so far. Between the giant fire elemental thing that we sealed away and destroyed, and now a very, very, very big angry dragon.
Does
I mean,
anybody?
we can try, but
I don't know. Maybe not the dragon, but maybe when we get back, it's worth seeing if we can reach other beacons using this one or something like that. If it can help us, if it can help people move around in some way, if it has some kind of teleportation properties, maybe we can see if we can tap into that in some ways.
The other thing at play is that we think an attack is going to be launched on Dragon's Breath Island, pretty soon.
yeah.
So maybe we just need to get back to the material plane and tell people what we've learned and get some rest.
Do we want to just use the fact that we're in Strahd's castle to see if we can find any information
Yeah.
and glean anything out of this place?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a good
is
call.
Does it how big of an area are we looking at right now as far as this castle goes?
Maybe 4,000 square feet of ruin and exposed castle interior and other debris and rocks kind of all piled up nearby.
Can I use primeval awareness to see if I can locate any undead?
Go for it. Yeah. You
This isn't a favored location, so it would only be
it's like less than a mile, right?
it's yeah, 1 mile of you or within 6 miles if you're in a favored terrain. So unfortunately, no.
So within a mile. There is a sense of an undead presence, but a shadow of its former self. There's something still lingering here, but it is not anything that you feel immediately threatened by. Almost like an echo of its previous inhabitant.
Hmm.
Where?
Everywhere.
You feel that. Sorry, Buck. You feel that, not me.
Everywhere, so I can't locate it to a specific place that seemed to hold more.
I wonder if
Give me a survival check as you try to focus.
While she's doing that, are we actually physically within the ruins, or
No, you're out front.
Oh.
You're about 40 feet away from the broken staircase of stone that would take you up into the interior.
Dirty 20.
30-20.
ice.
In the heart of this destroyed castle, there's a small concentration of this echo of what you're feeling. Something inside this castle still lingers, and it is old, and it is very much undead.
Well, fuck. I tell them that.
Okay.
And do I get a sense of the direction it's from or anything like that?
Does your map work here? Because it didn't work when we were on the Isles because of the magic all around that thing, but we're not there anymore.
That is a great question. I would
I
pull
mean,
out
as far
the
as
map.
you remember, the larger map says that it should only work on the material plane, which kind of explained why it didn't work very well in the Shattered Isles because of the rifts and the veil. You don't expect it to work out here, but you never know till you try.
I'll try.
You pull out the map. Because of being in the astral sea, it feels like it's almost incapable of understanding where you are, and the map just doesn't reveal anything. Like it's just inert, not doing anything at all.
I'm sorry, there is no Wi-Fi in space.
Dang it. Maybe if we knock out a wall. No? T-Mobile commercials? No?
How dare you?
Hey,
But
sponsorship.
was he able to get a sense of the direction of the lingering undead presence?
It's inside the very center of the ruined castle.
Let's go to the center then.
Let's do it.
Before we walk,
The-
can I kind of check the doorway, just see if there's any see if I can see any traps or anything that kind of sticks out as.
Sure. Give me an investigation check, if you would, please.
That is a almost a 19. That was just a 9. It hovered there too long. Just a 9.
Okay. You guys got to walk up the stone stairs in the direction of the front facade. You watch as Spot stops to examine the doorway. Are you proficient in Arcana, Earthen? I can't remember.
Proficient? I don't think so. Not proficient. I have half proficiency in Arcana.
Are you proficient in religion, Xaneth?
Yes.
Okay. So for Xaneth, as you watch Spot go in first, followed by the Ironbound kind of coming in right behind Spot, there is something that catches your eye. Right above the door jamb, there is a stone that's maybe about the size of a shoebox that's embedded into the archway of the castle entrance. You've seen this kind of stone before. It's a keystone. And these keystones can be emboldened with magic for the purposes of creating a stabilized environment, like to create something from collapsing more, being consumed by water, being consumed by fire. Somebody has put a keystone here with the intent of preserving this building.
Someone is that keystone up there. Someone's taking care that this building won't fall apart. Maybe even in its present state, there might still be something active here.
Do we want to take this away and just let the place fall apart?
Let's see what's inside first.
I very much doubt it. I assume Puck hasn't fully attuned to the stone yet.
Well, it takes some time. She's in the process, but it requires focus and time to be able to try to attune to it.
Ooh, very pretty backgrounds this episode.
So all of you walk through the archway. Nothing too nefarious happens, but as you walk into the interior of the castle, you begin to realize it is now preserved as if it was still on the material plane. You could see plant growth, books, this huge stone-like throne up on a dais. And you can just see the remnants of the interior of this castle as it would be in its source, as it would be frozen in time, as if it was still in the Shadowfell, still at the heart of Bunrovia.
I'm seeing some photos in the picture. Are they also there in the game?
Yeah, there are pictures. Everything you see that's an imagery would be sketches, paintings, and kind of like other representations of artwork that may have been part of this place. More importantly, there's one particular imagery painted on a nearby wall that definitely gets all of your attention. Of course, I had it ready and then I turned it off. Sorry. Yeah. Give me one sec. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, wait. You know what would help? Is if I remember to name it the right file that I let me rename the file so that
Really
I
helpful. Oh, yeah.
yeah, naming conventions are an important thing.
You just don't like a random string of numbers?
No, that is not okay. Randomness is a tool for those that have more time than me. Randomness.
DoorDash.
You see a picture of a skeletal figure, like an oil painting. It's 8 feet tall by 3 feet wide. And it's an oil painting of this undead figure in front of a moon-like landscape. At the bottom, it says Strahd at the bottom of the painting.
Well, that's not creepy at all.
No, it's pretty creepy.
Certainly sets a vibe.
Does anybody feel like saying something wisecracking at him?
Does anybody feel like wisecracking at him?
to make this feel a little less
Say
scary?
no more. Say no more, Ranger. You look hungry.
No response. Just the oil painting, just kind of, it's in this heroic pose, staring off at its hand off in the distance. No sense that it's aware of you.
I'm going to strum the lute and activate Detect Magic.
There's definitely the keystone that's magical. A couple of the books up on the shelf have some magical enchantments on them. And the painting of Strahd is definitely magical. A kind of mix of evocation, divination, and a bit of what you would consider graviturgy magic as well.
Weird.
Does
Okay.
anybody want to touch this?
Wait, before we do that, there's a couple of books over here that are pinging too. I want to check the books first. It's that one and that one. And I'll go grab one, but if we go grab the two books and see just what the books are.
There are 2 books that were glowing. One is referred to as the Tome of Knowledge, and the other one is referred to as the Tome of Strength.
Sack of holding?
I'm going to identify them first.
Oh.
I mean, they say what they are, but yeah. So I'll take the time to identify those.
The Tome of Knowledge, to the possessor of this book, at the end of 30 days of reading and memorizing the Tome of Knowledge, you can add up to 2 ability points to your intelligence.
Ooh.
We need this so
Hey.
desperately.
It also says the same thing about the Tome of Strength.
We also need that extremely desperately.
I don't need the knowledge, but I really desperately need the strength.
I am both weak and stupid. This would do me great.
Yeah, that would be fabulous.
You guys
Oh,
watch as Green
sure.
Bottle stops in front of the painting after crawling off the back of the Ironbound. The Ironbound's just lost in just kind of admiring the place. Same with the Sky Reacher. Green
Tilly.
Bottle stops within a few feet of the painting, just looks. It almost looks like he's trying to hold something. His hand is empty.
Huh.
Is there
How about-
anything sort of circular shaped or nearby that looks like he might be holding it?
Give me perception or investigation.
Yeah.
Alright.
I was going to say I'll look around the room and see if there's something to fit in his hand.
That's a 24.
Everything here is old debris, remnants of a king's throne room, almost like environment, like a great hall. Other than the centered area that you would walk across, that's just a gaping hole of of rock where the place that you saw Mason being a part of. In fact, the sarcophagus used to be here. This is that chunk of rock area that Mason now uses as his location on the Pebbles Throw. So if you were to kind of reverse that, you're like, okay, the sarcophagus was here. His throne would have been up on that dais, but yet there was also a throne in Mason's chamber as well with the sarcophagus. So you get the feeling that maybe what Mason had found was below. He had found something here, or something had broke away from here, drifted through the rift, and he came across what you're now believing to be must have been Strahd's sarcophagus, where he would rest and heal during the time that he wasn't hunting or having dinner guests over. But once again, this place feels so old, like it's been drifting for such a long time. It's hard to it's hard to know what all this means. It is difficult to understand it.
Earthen, I have an idea that I'm not super fond of. I want to try a thing. I need you. Can you have a very, very potent recovery spell ready? Because this might end really badly, but I can only think of one way to possibly test the theory I have.
I mean, Xanth will probably be way better at that than me.
All I got was you lagged real bad there.
Oh, sorry. Xanth could probably be way better at that than me. I mean, I can get something ready, but
all right,
guaranteed she's better at this than I am.
By the way, Puck, those pictures you're referring to is actually behind Alexa.
It took me a second. You don't understand. I was like, "Hey, what about that chalice in the in the room?" And I was like, "Wait, no."
Look at the bookshelf. There's a bookshelf.
I was going to say, "Oh, it's the bookshelf that he was referring to."
Yeah, I just want to make sure I clarified that for you.
That's so funny.
There are like etchings and drawings and sketches, like in preserved areas of the walls that are exposed, and then the big oil painting of what seems to be a undead representation of Strahd on this oil paint. Well, at least that's what the bronze placard says at the bottom of the oil paint.
I am more shocked that I did not say, "Oh, there is a basketball in the castle." What is that doing?
What can you tell me about the basketball?
That's what goes in his hand.
Yes.
Quick, get the.
Right,
He's actually a globetrotter, you know.
Nice.
Hey guys, if I can, again, I want to have Xanth and Earthen kind of on deck for this, but I want to extend my kind of fucked up claw. I'm going to go up to the painting and just very delicately kind of touch it and just see if it does, if I feel anything or if anything happens.
You guys watch, and Spot's hand passes through it, and then back out again.
Oh,
it's another one of these. Where's that fucking artist? Wait, we have his paints.
I do.
What's supposed to go in the hand? What do you think's going to go in the hand? We could just paint it on there. Maybe.
Earthen, do you know what I've been thinking the entire time we've been in here? Do you still have...
I don't dare to guess at all. No.
You know what this ruined castle vampire lair, do you still have that orb of decay that nearly
that nearly killed both of us? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That seems like the kind of thing that would fit in really, really well here, and that terrifies me, which is why on the painting.
So I'll just keep it in the bag. Do you want to put your face through the painting real quick? Since you put your hand in, nothing happened, right? I mean, nothing happened to your hand. You don't need to breathe. So if something on the other side, you're not gonna.
I get it. I'm also, physically the hardiest. But all right, I am going to just kind of Go up to the painting.
I will hold on to your tail, okay? So if you get sucked through, I'm going with you, okay?
Can I kind of anchor myself with one of my hands on the, or actually kind of reach over to the frame or like just beside it, just verify that is a solid wall.
Okay, so like
Yes.
you're holding on to the frame and then gonna do that
I
old
wanted to
school
kind of
poke your head in through the looking glass, see what happens.
I am holding on to your tail.
Okay, that's fair. Give me a con save if you would, please.
Oh,
Fine.
yay! Con save. That's a 24.
24. As you place your head inside, Earthen, you feel his body go rigid, which kind of freaks you out. You pull at Spot, and you watch as his corpse drops to the ground.
Oh, fun!
What?
What?
His corpse? For real? And can I check? Is he really dead?
Stone cold.
I'll
I've-
revivify.
All right, I've got the bottle of stuff. Shit, what's that called?
And I have the kits, the like death save kit.
Spot, it's the strangest feeling. You're floating in like just a shadowy atmosphere, and you're looking the opposite way that you originally put your face through the painting, and you can see your friends crowded around your unconscious body on the ground. But there's a kind of soothing calm about where you are. And as you're kind of drifting in this empty space, you look down below and you can see the silhouette of thousands of figures, of individuals. They're slowly walking along an unseen surface. Way up in the horizon of this dark shadow, you can see a very tiny, tiny point of light. And you can feel these thousands of people down below you, almost kind of like calling out to you. Give me a intelligence save, if you would, please.
Oh, that is a crit fail. It's a natural 1 plus 6.
Which would be a 7.
Yeah. I know.
You feel yourself drift down in amongst the crowd, and there are humans and halflings and dwarves and elves, all manner of humanoid folk, just looking very gaunt, pale-skinned, emaciated of food or water. And you just begin to kind of like step into the ranks of these individuals. You feel the song. You feel the song of the light up ahead calling you towards it. It echoes towards you. It emanates towards you as you drift along with the crowd.
Dude!
Shit.
I'm revivifying.
Okay, all of my all of the
It's just a raised dead. It's not a revivify. I can make him a zombie.
You guys watch as Zen kind of hovers over the dead body of Spot, and just you cast Revivify, and nothing happens.
I do it again.
Do it again,
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Hang on. I'm gonna take. I have a potion to speak with dead. So I'm gonna try
Okay.
that.
Are you pouring it into Spot's mouth so he can speak?
Yes.
It's so weird. Yeah. Okay. What are your 5 questions? What would be your 5 questions?
What do you see? Well, the answer would depend on that. Yeah. Can you go anywhere else? What the hell happened?
How can we save you?
Yeah, how can we save you? And oh man, do you recognize anybody there? Who do you recognize there? Amend that last question. Who do you recognize there?
Spot, as you're drifting through this crowd, you hear Earthen's familiar voice. As rapidly these questions are thrown in your direction, they sound a lot like questions that you've been involved in the past when you try to speak with the dead. And you almost feel like you're compelled to answer, but you also feel as if answering is still your choice. But it's Earthen's voice, and he's asking you these questions.
I'm definitely going to try to answer if I can. I was trying to copy down the questions while he was talking. I only got 3 of them, unfortunately. But so I definitely want to try to answer him. So the first was, what do I see?
Yeah.
A sea of figures, possibly dead. I have no way of telling.
That's one. What's the other question?
The next is, what, can I go anywhere? I don't know. There's a point of light above, and this sea of figures stretches into the distance. I don't know if there's anywhere else. Can I be saved? I do not know. I don't, and I did not get the other 2.
The last one was, do you recognize anybody else there?
Can I scan the horizon?
Yeah, give me a perception check as you look around you.
Perception. That is a 16.
16, you don't recognize anybody.
I don't recognize anyone.
Shit.
Can we see if there's anything in this place that could make him undead?
In the castle ruins?
I could make him undead.
I can do a more powerful
I mean,
spell. But Revivify
Like actually undead. I can make him actually undead. Not
Don't be
Not-
kidding!
not bring him back. Like I could make him undead. I have to raise dead.
Xanon, give me a religion check because your Revivify didn't work.
Yeah. That's a nat 20 plus. That's a 28.
28. The description, everything that he's given you is the description that you know to be purgatory. He's currently wandering the empty or the plains of the souls waiting to cross over. He's in purgatory from what you could tell, which tells you that your spell didn't work because whatever that painting did to him, it's almost as if he's been dead a long time.
I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic on the painting.
At what level?
Oh, good question. Let's see.
So I know I'm missing at least one question.
What was one of the other questions you wanted to ask her? You could change it up and make it a new one if you want.
I can't remember what the other question was.
Just remember, if you ask him a 5th question, he'll no longer be able to talk to you.
Yep.
Um,
I'll just hold on that question for
Okay,
now.
you're fine.
Okay.
5th level Dispel Magic.
Roll a d20, please. What'd you get for your roll, Puck?
I didn't roll.
Investigation, as you start looking around for something undead or something that might connect to this painting and what it's capable of doing. Now that you know it can kill.
It's an 8.
8. It's a struggle. The interior of this place is just so empty and so devoid of anything that would appear obvious to you. It's just rubble, stone, the big oil painting, some other paintings and sketches of minor size.
Does anybody else want to try that?
Just doing an investigation check. Yeah, I can do that. Well, actually, Earthen probably has got a better investigation
I
modifier
rolled
than I do.
I rolled a 10, by the way, on that. So
On what?
on the dispel magic.
Okay. Yeah, it's still nothing happens. The magic effervescence of the painting still obvious to you and detect magic.
Do I feel like you said it's like he's been dead for a long time? Is it like he's
Mhm.
been dead for like less than 10 days, or is it like he's been dead for like 90 years?
He's been dead for many years, is what it feels like.
Do you remember the coin that the Fey hag gave him that had a skull on it? Can I see if I can fish it out of Spot's belonging to see if there's anything I can do with that?
Yeah, give me investigation as you start looking for it.
Uh, 15.
15. Yeah, you find it in one of his many pouches that he keeps on himself.
Can I see if it has, and because it does have a skull on it, and it appears that they've gone a lot to the Shadowfells, so it might have something helpful when it comes to magic that has to do with the dead.
What do you do with it?
Let's see. Can I try? Oh God. Does anybody feel like they might have a good chance of knowing what to do with this?
I
Does
can make
anybody
a
want to
religion check
mention
on
it?
it.
Or,
If it feels like he has been, the effect of this picture is that he's been dead for a long time. There's a spell that I know that can bring back someone who's been dead for up to a century, but I don't have the energy to do it today.
I can. It's gonna suck, but I can do it.
I would try it.
So I would say you owe me, but I did tell you to put your face in that picture. I'm gonna cast Resurrection on Spot.
Just before you cast it, Green Bottle stopped you.
What? Bring it back.
She walks over. I just rolled a natural 20 for Green Bottle. She walks over to Puck and plucks the coin out of Puck's hand. She walks over to the painting. You watch as the skeletal figure animates and the hand extends out towards Green Bottle, and she places the coin in the hand.
What the actual?
The hand closes, goes back, and you watch as Spot takes a deep breath.
What the heck? Spot!
What the hell? Are you okay? You're muted. You're muted.
You're
Spot, you're
muted,
muted.
Eric.
Oh, it's this great monologue, and we're missing the whole thing.
Can I fish around in my robes for a minute? I just want to fish around in my robes and pull out a very small card and just go. Again.
You have
No,
one hit point, Spot.
What's up?
You have one hit point.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, man!
All right. Go back and I'm going to correct that. So, what are you doing? Did I get logged out of this? No.
Green Bottle looks over at Earthen. Earthen, can
Yeah.
you cast Identify on that painting? I just want to make sure it is what I think it might be.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna touch the edge, not the. I'm gonna touch the frame, obviously, not the. Yeah.
It identifies as a magical device called the Soul Collector.
The hag really
Once per
knew.
day,
What the hell is that?
yeah, once per day, an unwilling or willing creature that attempts to either enter or interact with the painting directly must make a DC 28 con save
Oh.
or immediately perish and be collected. An unwilling participant or an unwilling participant must make a DC 19 con save or higher, or be consumed by the painting and their soul taken as well. The painting is directly connected to purgatory, and as you're kind of like saying all this out loud, Greenbottle goes, "Yeah, it's what I thought it was." So this is the place that Strahd sends all the souls that of the bodies he kills. Like, there's probably a lot of people that he's killed over his span of existence, and he's been feeding them into the Soul Collector painting. So here's the thing, this painting is like really powerful, guys. Really, really powerful.
Sorry.
If somebody gets a hold of this thing, it could be bad.
Hey, storyteller, I got 2 questions for you real fast. I know I literally just died. Like, I've come back, all that.
Yep.
For the purposes of this narrative, when I come back, I know it's not a long rest, all that. Do I come back at level 18? Like, do I have access to what I would have got from our level up, from last section?
Well, you haven't long rested yet.
Okay, I didn't know because if I died, if I was something.
No,
like that.
dying is not a rest in peace. Is maybe a little bit too much on the nose.
Yeah. It was a long shot. You're
like, it's worth a try. You never know.
Yeah. The other was just like my amulet and everything is still working, so within 5 minutes ish, I should be back up. So okay, so that's fine. I am gonna kind of look at Xanth and kind of be like, I do have a genuine idea, but it requires rest. Can we get your magic hut popped up and take a breather for a bit if it works here?
You're mute, Xanth.
Sorry about that. Sure. Do we want to rest here, or is it something you want to do here in Strahd's castle?
I have an idea to make sure none of them ever has to deal with that again.
Well, hold that thought.
But I have to be able to do that. I have to rest to do it.
Hold that thought. I'm going to burn my 9th level spell slot and cast Dispel Magic on the Soul Collector.
Give me a D20.
Can we give him any inspiration or anything like that?
Can I give?
You give him guidance.
I'll give guidance. Yeah,
I mean, it's not exactly what it's used for, but you can go ahead and give him a D4 or D4 or D6. D4.
Well, yep. That was a waste. Hang on. Oh shit! No, I used them all. Yeah, I don't have it yet. Nope. Yeah, it didn't work. Guaranteed.
It was a 9th level Dispel Magic, right?
Yeah, it was 9th level.
Give me an intelligence save, please.
Oh no.
Okay. I got advantage on those though. For that sword.
That's true. You did.
That's a nat 20 plus 5, 25.
25. There's a protective barrier around the painting. Take half of 81 points of psychic damage.
Oh, I dropped. I just fall over.
He just watches, Earthen's like, I got a plan. Spell magic. There's like a purple black energy that rebounds off of it, slams into Earthen, and he just keels over, unconscious.
All right, I'm gonna do a little mass cure wounds here. I think everyone's at full except for Spot and Earthen. But
again, for me,
Spot has the regenerative necklace, so
yeah,
it only took him about 5 minutes to get back up to full health.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. I'll just do regular cure wounds then. All right, that's 7d8 plus 5. I'll just roll here.
I will say I'm a little nervous about us sleeping
43 points.
Thank you.
Because watch, Earthen goes back to consciousness. The Ironbound kind of walks over to where all of you are and offers some advice. Can we maybe not keep dying? I don't
Thanks.
know where you've
It's
taken
not
me
on
in the
purpose.
Sky Reacher,
Shit.
but there's an evil in this place that you cannot help but notice.
Uh-huh.
Like little trails of arcane smoke swirling out of Earthen's,
Oh.
mouth and ears and eyes. He coughs and like a puff of smoke comes out of his mouth.
Now that we've been here, we will probably be able to find this place again. So maybe we can leave and come back to do this plan. I'm just a little nervous about sleeping here, considering the fact that there might still be some.
If I might interject slightly, I don't mean to be a bother, but technically we're in the Astral Sea. Time works differently here than there. It's not too dissimilar than the Fae and the Shadowfell. We've been here, maybe an hour already. That could either be a minute, a day, or a year back where we came from, depending on how we interacted with this place. The way we arrived in the Astral Sea. So, yeah, there's that.
Good point, Tilly. Shit. How big is that painting?
It is 8 feet tall by 3 feet wide.
Can I fit the sack around the end of it to slide it into the bag?
It is attached to the wall.
Ah,
You'd have to figure out how to get it off the wall.
Ooh, how thick is the wall?
And we don't want to. We don't want to interact with it because when you interact with it, you have to roll a saving throw.
once a
The
day.
frame, you don't.
Oh, it can only suck you in once a day.
According to the
And-
identify.
Yeah, and somebody's already been sucked into it today.
This is true.
I don't know. I feel like Spot's been through a lot today.
Spot
does-
Spot wants some revenge on this thing.
I also did touch the frame earlier, so the frame didn't seem to do anything when I identified it. It was the actual painting itself. But if we can get this thing off the wall, at least when it's in the bag, nobody else has access to it. So I can
So,
break the damn thing.
Can I kind of look around the painting and just kind of see how it is anchored to the wall? If it is just hung up, or if there's something like special.
Yeah, give me an investigation check as you begin to examine the space that it's occupying.
You would think that with all my thiefiness, I'd have really good investigation. And I do not.
Well, there's intelligence and then there's wisdom, right?
Yeah, my wisdom is very high. My intelligence is very, very low. That was like a 4. It was nothing.
Yeah, it's hard to understand or determine, but it's affixed to the wall. Doesn't you even nudge the frame? It doesn't budge.
Hey, Tilly,
Yeah.
I have some magic paints and I have some residuum. Would you be able to mix these things up to where I could paint over this thing and create just perhaps break the spell in that way?
I think the problem is if you try to interact with the surface, there's nothing tactile. There's no physical surface to interact with. So I don't think you can paint directly onto it. Just because it cannot interact with you now doesn't mean that it's, still a solid surface. I think it might still be a portal. I think even though it's captured a soul, currently it's quite possible that when it's not the soul catcher painting, there's always been a kind of legend that it's a portal as well, offering you access to the Shadowfell.
I don't want that in her bag.
We can't get it in the bag anyway. Can't get off the wall.
Also, if you notice at the very top of the stone above the painting, to the right and left, there are wards on it. That's probably what's keeping it from coming off the wall. So you'd have to dispel each of those wards and then physically remove it. But I think we should destroy it. To be honest with you.
How do you
Did you
destroy
say
it?
Did you say your friend or your when you were speaking to the void during your challenges and talking to the chieftain, she mentioned something about Mason being a vampire now, or
Yeah, he is.
being kind of undead adjacent, I guess you could call it. I don't know. I don't. Undead
Yeah.
are not my kind of on my syllabus. I don't know how that works. Is it possible this is what he's looking for when he eh,
Good point. Okay. Well, damn it.
I mean, this thing's a pretty powerful object. I'm just afraid that if anyone were to get access to purgatory, they would get access to the Well of Souls, and therefore they'd have access to an unending amount of undead souls in which to utilize for whatever nefarious purposes they might be involved in, I guess.
Here's
It's kind of like if you give Spot too much yarn. It's great for getting him tired, but it's kind of dangerous too.
Here's a pitch. I have something called Anti-Magic Field, which is an 8th level spell, which basically like suppresses all magic in an area. I can pop that up, and then we just like kick the shit out of this painting, which temporarily won't be magic, and there will be no wards. We like light it on fire or something before the spell ends.
Before we do that, Earthen, you still have the magical paints, right?
Yeah.
Can I sit in front of that and make as detailed a copy as I can? I just want to do this to try to fake out Mason if he is looking for it. It's magical. It'll appear as magical if he tries to detect it.
Well,
to identify it.
I also have our Stone of Greater Illusion that I could probably put in place of this thing to make it look like it's still there.
All right,
the thing that used to hide, remember it used to hide the extra room back at Gnomework. It was planted in the ground. It was hiding all that shit.
Do you and I want to load up and look at those runes? And yeah,
I mean, if she can do the anti-magic field, then we can just destroy the thing. If it works. If that works.
Spells and other magical effects, except those created by an artifact or a deity, are suppressed.
Is it created by an artifact or a deity?
Probably
You don't know
not.
until you try.
Earthen, do you still have a plane shift home?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, because that would be the only slot I
saved-
would have
oh,
left
yeah.
for plane shift.
Yeah, I saved one.
Okay. So, should we try it? It also says that teleportation and planar travel fails to work in the sphere. So, yeah, we could try it and just see
We
if
just
it
have
works.
to get out of the sphere to do it. Do
Yeah.
anything.
So just as everybody is honing in on that, can I use detect thoughts, which I can also use to see if I can sense thinking creatures that I cannot see, and try and just hone that in the direction of the undead presence. Because I am curious if there is somebody here.
yes, it is.
But I would also love to run away the moment I find out.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Let me see how we're going to do this.
Yes.
So you're trying to detect thoughts on the source of what felt undead to you.
Yeah, and it says that I can that you can also use the spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see. And you can search throughout within 30 feet of you and penetrate through 2 feet of rock and 2 inches of metal.
Oofa. Okay.
And once you detect the presence of a creature this way, you can read its thoughts for the rest of the duration as you describe above, even if you can't see it, but it must still be within range. No.
As you reach out to detect the thoughts of this lingering echo,
Oh, shit.
everything around you kind of darkens out. You can't hear everybody else as you're lost, and you feel trapped in this echo. And you hear a familiar voice. You see a familiar form. This translucent astral projection begins to kind of like circle you. Oh, interesting. You've triggered something. I remember you. You were that small creature I nearly killed in the alleyways of Gnomework. What did they call you? Puck, was it? You watch as the mechanical eye kind of spins, the limp of the leg kind of clicking as he walks, and his partial vampiric-like form kind of present as well.
Does he look different than how we've seen him before?
He looks more gaunt, old. He definitely is taking on vampire presentations, like vampire forms. But this feels like a combination of illusion, almost as if your interaction with the echo has triggered this response.
You look like you've seen better days.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not really here. I am expected to keep you trapped here and distracted while my astral projection seeks out my master.
Oh. Well,
I am but a fragment of his mind. I'm not real, of course.
can my detect thoughts see if it can kind of detect who the master is?
It's Mason. This is a sentient fragment of an echo of Mason that's been left here on purpose.
Interesting. And what does your master desire? Our masters might have something in common.
Oh, it's not about desire. I'm not equipped or intelligent enough to have a conversation with you. I just need to keep you here for a few more minutes.
I understand. Are you familiar with Dominion?
Once again, I'm sorry. These are words I don't understand. I'm just supposed to keep you here for a few more minutes.
Do I have the option of tapping out of this?
You can certainly try. Give me a wisdom save.
Uh, 15.
You're back with everybody in the ruin, taking a sharp intake of breath, and you no longer sense the echo in the room.
Well, fuck. I just spoke with Mason. Apparently, this is all a distraction. We have to go back right now.
The wall is not magic, right?
What do you mean the wall?
That the painting is mounted on?
It just has the wards on it, and then it's a solid stone wall.
Well, like the words are on the wall or on the painting?
On the wall.
Damn.
We can come back here, but we have to go right now.
Well, he knows where this is.
He knows where this is. He's been here before. The presence I've sensed is his echo, and the echo told me that he was here to keep us distracted for a few more minutes, which I assume is bad news considering our history of getting distracted by him. So let's go right now. I have a really bad feeling about this.
Should we try to destroy this thing? It takes me one action to cast.
That's what I was trying to do.
Okay, yeah, let's destroy it.
All right. Anti-magic in a big bubble on this thing.
I'm gonna
Okay,
go
well-
like as on the other side of the room, away from that.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Ironbound and Green Bottle follows Earth into the other side of the room. Xanath, you cast the anti-magic field. It shrouds the painting and the immediate area that you are in. Nothing on you is now magical.
Okay. If there's like a candle or something, I will grab it and just throw it at the painting. Like,
Nothing lit.
all right. Well, and
I
we
have
just need to
fire.
like punch the shit out of this thing then.
You
Hey,
watch a
yeah.
Spot goes full ginger cat, leaps up on it, like extends his claws.
Oh, you got me.
Puck has a fire kit.
Puck
Just-
starts setting the shreds on flame. Like the wards aren't active at this point, so the painting is being consumed by both Spot and Puck's activity. The frame is broken, the shredded magical components of it. It's definitely not a relic, and it was definitely not made by a god. So it's a very powerful magic item that once belonged to Strahd, but without Strahd being ascended, it's not considered made by a god. So it takes only a couple seconds for Puck and Spot just to destroy the painting.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Let's fucking
Alright,
go.
let's
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So while they were doing that, I was getting ready with plane ships. So when they come over, we just gotta link hands, and we can get
Alright.
out of here.
Once that's done, you guys start running over to where Earthen and the others are holding hands. You kind of quickly get into that linked hands as Earthen's about to cast it. There's a
ready?
shock of a arcane gate. Just as you see Mason step through his arcane gate, Earthen's plane shift activates. And everything collapses around you. Where are you focusing on trying to get to, Earthen?
The Elk Village.
Directly in the Elk Village?
Yep, in the Great House specifically.
Everything around you kind of crackles and undoes itself. And you're in the middle of a massive smoking ruin of a log house. The village is decimated. There is smoldering flames arcing from like different parts, but the entire village has been wiped out.
Shit.
Can I get my coin drake up and just fly to the tower, to the light tower?
Okay. You watch as the coin drake comes out. Puck leaps onto its back and starts flying in the direction of the lighthouse. Let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll do the second half.
Sound effects.
Stretch a little bit. I did not, Derek.
With that, we are back. Puck, as you feel Lunch just leap up into the air with you on his back, you get high above the burnout village below, and you start arcing and racing towards the lighthouse. As you get closer and closer towards the lighthouse, you can see the pathway leading up to the lighthouse. There's a queue, a line of captured elk voik that are bound and being led up the pathway towards the lighthouse. You can see dozens of Bear Clan voik kind of goading them on, telling them to hurry, like marching them upwards towards the lighthouse. As you kind of crest and circle, oscillating around the perimeter of the lighthouse, you see a familiar lizard folk shaman. You watch as Basilisk seems to cast a spell and then shoves one of the voik into the lighthouse.
Oh, God.
There's a flare of energy from the lighthouse, and you watch as silver light drifts away from the lighthouse, and you see the silhouette of a voik ghostly figure drift off in that light.
How far am I from Basilisk?
You're a good 200 feet. They haven't noticed you yet. They're so busy doing what they're doing, no one's bothered to look up. You're just kind of circling in the shadow of the cliff face, kind of having this experience right now.
Can I hurry you to be 120 feet away and then use the cantrip of Eldritch Blast on him?
You could certainly try. You have Lunch swoop down in his direction. You feel Lunch pivot back and away, getting you within that 120 feet of distance. And you're now hovering over Vasseric's form at 120 feet. As he's midway casting a spell on one of the voik, he sees your silhouette just as you cast Eldritch Blast. Go ahead and roll to hit. With advantage, because you have height.
Get him, Buck. Get him.
So here's a question. How do I roll to hit for a cantrip?
It's D20 plus your spell attack.
Right? It's ranged attack.
Yeah, D20 plus your spell attack, I think, isn't it?
Correct.
So,
If you click on Eldritch Blast, it should automatically roll it for you, right? On the
Yeah.
page, if you hit cast, it'll
I have for like the effect for the damage.
No, next to it, it should say cast, right?
Hit DC. Okay, so it's the hits.
Correct.
So that's a 20.
20.
Yeah.
You watch as the energy arcs down, slams into Vasseric's form. Go ahead and roll your damage, please.
7.
7 points of damage. You watch as Lunch pivots around and kind of corkscrews up at the same angle. You watch as Vassarisk sends like a glowing green beam of a necrotic energy as you watch Lunch take the full brunt of the attack from Vassarisk. You watch as the kind of necrotic energy pulse around Lunch, and he kind of do it again quickly as he's like keeping you at bay but giving you repeated opportunities to continue to strike down towards Vassarisk. For those of you down in the burnout village, way off in the distance, you can barely see the tiny speck that is Puck. And now there's flashes of arcane light coming from the lighthouse cliff. As flashes of arcane light are coming from Puck, and they're like striking at different points.
From that first attack, from the first like sign of an attack, can I start flying towards her?
Okay, you start flying towards her.
I want to.
Yeah, if it's dark, well, I'll just start running. I'll just start running in that direction.
Start running, yeah, towards the pathway. Spot?
How far away are they, ish?
About a mile, quarter mile.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Quarter mile?
About a quarter of a mile.
Okay. I gotta do a little bit. I'm gonna start running, but I gotta do a little bit.
Okay, you start running in that direction as well. Earthen, you invoke fly, you start running in that direction. Puck.
It's about 1,500 feet. Spot.
Yeah, I know. I was seeing if I was debating whether or not it was a hasted thing that I would be able to
Puck,
do that.
what are you doing next? Lunch is taking the brunt of Basilisk's attack to give you an opportunity to do whatever you want to do to attack Basilisk.
How far am I from him?
You're 120 feet away.
Oh.
You can goad Lunch to get closer if you want to.
Can he get within... can he get within 90 feet?
Absolutely. You watch as, shifting with a bit of pain, but he arcs away and starts kind of gliding down and banking once again to give you height advantage and visual advantage. As he banks in such a way, 90 feet away, you're kind of like, that stereotypical airport, the airplane coming in for a landing, like it's circling downward. That's what he's doing. He's oscillating above the lighthouse as Vassarisk has kind of like shoved everything out of his way, and he's getting ready to cast another spell up towards you.
I'm going to summon a fire elemental in front of the entrance to the tower. And I'm going to try and really connect with that stone if I can.
Yeah, you watch as the fire elemental just springs up in front of the lighthouse entrance, which catches Vassarisk off guard. Kind of looks at you and the fire elemental, and he begins to cast spells at the fire elemental. The fire elemental begins to pummel into Vassarisk, keeping him occupied. There's a small silhouette of a person getting closer towards you, Puck, as Earthen arrives. Earthen gets there just as you've engaged the fire elemental. Earthen, you hear Puck yell out, "I'm going to tune to the stone," and she's got the stone out again, and she's now like trying to do those last few minutes of attunement to try to see if this stone has the ability to offer power.
I'm going to psychic glance Vassarisk.
That's an intelligence save?
That's an intelligence save, yeah.
Okay. That is a 27 to save.
Okay, so he takes half damage.
Go for it.
Let me get my
You
D60.
send the psychic glance down towards him. Two of you looking down to see Xanath and Spot and the Ironbound and Green Bottle and the Sky Reacher all sprinting towards the pathway that leads up. The Ironbound leaps in front and then takes Spot by the arm and says, "We keep the Bear Clan busy while your friends deal with that creature up there. Follow me." And the Ironbound leaps into the queued line of Void Clan, that are being held prisoner by the Bear Clan. And he is just fully engaged with that, trying to free and distract the Bear Clan to give Xanath the ability to sprint up the pathway and try to reach the top of the heights.
He takes half of 29 points of damage.
Okay. Vassarisk takes the brunt of it, looks up to see you, and he... Give me a strength save, please, as he reaches towards you.
He's close enough to reach? I was
No. He's casting a spell on you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
can I
give me a strength
counterspell it?
save.
Yeah.
What level?
I'll counterspell at 5th level.
Nice. As this green hand opens up to grab you and pull you down towards him, you're like and the two spells collide and crack as you're able to counterspell the effect.
I'm going to mass suggest. I'm going to cast mass suggestion on the bear clan that are closest to us.
Okay.
Just say, flee, mortals, flee for your lives.
Wisdom save or intelligence save?
It's a wisdom of 19.
The 10 plus 4 is a 14. You watch as the nearby Voigt bear clan begin to flee in different directions. Spot, you're amongst the bear clan that are guarding the elk clan Voigt, who are kind of like bound in the line. Ironbound is engaged. Anything you want to do to try to free up the path for Xanath to make her way up and get closer to Vassarisk?
Any of the bear clan that are in front of me, I'm just gonna start just smashing heads and together, just try to clear a path for Xan.
I love it. Are you hasted?
I am not yet. No.
Okay, so roll all your attack actions for me.
Okay. So what I get, I will do my 2 attacks, and I'll use 2. God, I apologize. It's been a rough
2
day.
flurry of blows.
Yes, thank you. Words are hard.
Words, especially when Jason makes us, or storyteller makes us do these fast-paced encounters after fighting a primordial dragon, after destroying Shride's soul collection painting. It's just a normal Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. 13, 22, 27, and 17.
Okay. You slash into one Voik and into another. You untether some of the bound Voik, as you and Ironbound are essentially just this wave of attacks, just kind of cresting into the guards. Xanath, you have a path. You're able to take your way through, avoid everything, and you get to the top of the path. You're out of breath, but you're kind of standing there looking at Vassarisk. There's a fire elemental, there's Earthen, and then there's Puck up above as well, as this is just kind of suddenly unfolding. Vassarisk sees you at the top, and with his one good eye, he's looking over at you. I thought you fools were dead. And he pulls you towards him. Give me a strength save, if you would, please, Xanath.
All right. That's 10.
Yeah, you feel this grip around your body, these translucent green tendrils of energy grip onto you for 31 points of force damage. He then drags you towards him. Eartha, you have a chance here. He's distracted by Xanath's arrival at the top of the cliff.
I'm going to cast Polymorph on Vassarisk.
What level do you cast it?
It's going to be 4th.
4th? He casts Counterspell at 5th level, causing your spell to dissipate. I was going to ask Puck for an opportunity, but she...
Yeah.
So.
Can I see the chief? Is the chief or Skyreacher anyone available? Like anyone nearby?
The Skyreacher is fighting with the Ironbound, but they're a good couple hundred feet down the pathway. You can also see Spot is a blur of claw, blood, as they're fighting. And a lot of the elk Voik are being freed and now tussling with their guards as a kind of full-blown kind of
are there any
is breaking
any
out.
of the elk Voik near us that I would recognize?
No, there are not. Not that you recognize.
Okay. All right. Then I am going to polymorph myself
into
try not to make it so crazy, because I was gonna try and say like a giant elk, like a the idea being like
to the ground and die.
But that would be more of a magical kind of thing. The goal is to be like,
right.
Your thing's coming to save you kind of stuff.
So you're beginning to polymorph yourself into something. Xanath, you watch as Lunch with Puck on his back circles around the lighthouse, and this massive silver blast of breath crashes down into Vassarisk. He immediately struck by the breath weapon of lunch, loses concentration on you. The tendrils coming unbound around you. You drop to your feet. You have a chance here to do something, Xanath.
The thing with the longest range that I have is my ring of fireball. I'm gonna fireball him.
And it's normal fireball level unless you use more charges, right? Is it a charged item?
It's an item with 4 charges. It's a 3rd level evocation spell.
Okay.
But you could upcast it by
Correct. If you
your other
use the
charges.
base charge to cast, and then the 3 additional charges, you can it'll have a 7th level effect.
Oh, okay. Even though I don't have a 7th level spell slot, right?
Correct. This is just the item is, there is a slight percentage that the item can be consumed in the overcharge, but it's, a 10% or less on a D100.
Okay, so I'll do it at 7th level. That's a dex saving throw of 19 for him.
Okay. That is a 4 plus 4, which is an 8. That'll fail.
Nice. All right.
But give me a D100 just so we can see if the ring survives its use.
Okay. That's 16.
Oh, that was close. A 10 or less, it would have been destroyed on your hand. But yeah, you feel it struggle, but then you watch as the intensity of the release of the bead of light, and then the immolation effect as the fireball goes off. Go ahead and roll damage for a 7th level fireball spell.
All right. Did it just roll? Let's see.
I love Buck's like, hey, sorry, be back in 5. She does a squinty face.
35 points of damage.
Nice. Watch as Vassar just gets engulfed in a swirling cloud of flame and fire. Spot, you feel a familiar hand on your shoulder as the chieftain is one of the ones that the Ironbound lets go. There's even Greenbottle in the mix. She has kind of like polymorphed into a large eagle, and she's striking down into the Bear Clan as the melee along the cliff face is like fully engulfed with the surviving Bear Clan and Elk Clan, fully at each other. Some are fleeing, like some of the Bear Clan are fleeing up into the upper sections of the cliff or down towards the beach line as they are kind of surprised by this happening. Puck, you're on the back of Lunch. Vassarisk has just been engulfed by a fireball effect coming from Xanath. You have an opportunity here. What do you want to do?
Ooh. Has the attunement been helpful at all?
Oh, that's right. You're turning to the stone. I need you to make a Constitution save for starters, please.
18.
18. Oh, fuck. I don't want you to do this now. Now give me an Arcana check, if you would, please. I mean, it's valid. It could happen.
17.
17. There's definitely something about this stone that pulls you into it for a brief moment. You get this like revelation of its power, and you feel its power kind of like attuned to you as you realize you're now attuned to a power stone. And this power stone is like unleashing arcane energy into you, and you feel compelled to cast a spell of arcane power or your most powerful spell. What's your most powerful damaging spell that you have?
Witch's Bolt.
Ooh, Witch's Bolt. That'll work. Without even understanding why, you just unleash Witch's Bolt at a 9th level. And you feel it just turn
What?
into this purple tornado of energy that arcs around as the bolts begin to streak down towards Vassarus. Vassarus looks up to see this and to look at his entire plan of finally gaining entrance into the one functioning lighthouse becoming unbound. And he just roll for damage as if Witch Bolt was a 9th level spell, please.
Oh my
Is that
god.
9d12?
It is, it is 9d12.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wait.
I'm thinking Storm Giant for my polymorph as well.
Okay.
But it I would have if you'll allow the styling of like the elk horns, just as like the rally for the elk clan.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's gonna
Give
be
me persuasion or intimidation for the flavor of it.
Sure.
Puck, what'd you get for damage wise?
64.
Nice.
That's,
Very nice. As you watch the energy of the witch bolt just shocking down into Vassarus, he's like getting blasted around, and you realize this is not a simulacrum. This is Vassarus. He is reacting to the magic very differently. And this felt like a desperate move for him. Like aiding the Bear Clan, everything that you're seeing as a group, you begin to realize at least 2 or 3 days have passed since your absence. And you're watching as Vassarus is getting desperate and just kind of recognizing the stone in Puck's hand and her physical transformation. He just gets this look of fear on his face, and he said, "No!" And he points up towards Puck and he yells, "Die!" As this green beam of light goes arcing up towards Puck. Puck, give me a con save, if you would, please.
Oof.
Before she does that, it's that beam within 30 feet of me.
It is not.
Damn.
You're still on the main pathway with the others, kind of just taking out Bear Clan after Bear Clan as you're freeing more of the Elk Void warriors.
I am within some range of her now, right?
Well, you're a storm giant.
Yeah.
Also, was I able to take my attack of opportunity, like my bonus action, the fire elemental?
Your fire elemental's already engaged with Vassarus, so that's ongoing. But yeah, what'd you roll for your con save?
Damn it. It's gonna be an 8.
An 8. Are you under 100 points of hit points?
Nope, I am at 122.
As he tries to
You
use
got so
our
lucky.
word kill on you, you take 41 points of necrotic damage from the effect, and you do not instantly die.
Ooh, Dave.
Seeing you though, he looks over at Xanath, the fire elemental, seeing the Bear Clan begin to flee. Earthen, you kind
I'm
of
trying to take the
land.
form of their maiden,
Okay.
like the maiden of battle,
Okay.
but Storm Giant styled. And
Go ahead.
I was gonna drop my lightning, but like cast this lightning bolt at him.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
And are you standing on the plateau now that you're a storm giant?
I'm like hovering because storm giants can fly or
Okay.
can levitate.
Okay.
So I would
Like
be.
a 10 feet of levitation.
I'm like, yeah, I'm levitating like right in front of him, and I'm casting this lightning bolt down at him. It's called Lightning Strike is the name of it. Hurls a magical lightning bolt at a point it can see within 500 feet. Each creature within 10 feet of that point must make a DC 17 dexterity saving throw.
That is a natural 17 plus 4, 21.
Okay. So half as much damage of 12d8. So let me get my d8.
Okay.
That's a lot of d8.
A lot of D8s.
I probably should have got those ready before I cast the spell, but you know,
That's fine.
the heat of the moment. 2, 3, 4.
Puck
There's
is
6
up
here. I'll roll
on-
6 twice. Yeah.
Okay. Puck is up on the back of Lunch. Xanath, you're now watching this huge storm giant in like the effigy of the elk maiden. Kind of, you know, that's probably earthing because it's the only explanation that you could come up with.
Yeah.
Puck has been enhanced by the stone that she's wielding. She just took a pretty severe blow from Vassarus. Spot and the others are maybe a few hundred feet away from you, fighting their way, you know, continuously up the pathway to try to get up to help. But it's a lot harder for them because the melee battle that's ensuing is just kind of making it difficult for them to get up there. But they're also freeing the elk voik at the same time and now turning the tide against the bear clan voik. And there's almost a moment that you think you might be able to pull this off. Asterisk is contained and the voik are being freed. You have an opportunity here, Xan, to do something.
I will drop a moonbeam on Vassarisk.
Okay, wisdom or con?
That's a con save of 19.
That is a 12 plus 6 is an 18.
All right. So he's gonna take,
I was rolling great earlier, but now I'm rolling like shit.
he's gonna take 4d10 damage.
Yeah, radiant damage
Yeah.
too.
And that's half of 48 for the lightning bolt.
Okay.
Oh, it was 3 10s. That's
Nice.
31.
31. This cacophony of lightning through the cliff, shattering into pieces. You then watch as this cylinder of 5 feet of moonbeam light extends up into the sky and begins to burn the flesh and cauterize the wounds. And the radiant energy is zapping into Vassarus as he just starts screaming in pain as he stumbles away from the cylinder of light. He's looking rough. He looks up to see Puck. He sees Earthen's giant form, the bear elk voik collapsing around as his entire plan is coming undone. And you just watch as Vassarus casts this purple gateway in front of him, and he's about to step through it.
Oh, crap.
Oh, can I cast Windwall in front of it?
You cast Windwall in front of him. Is there a save for that? Strength or Dex, I think.
No, just damage. It's a strength 16.
Okay. Not his power. That's a 15. He fails, and you watch the wind crash in front of him, in front of the gate that he summoned up, and it pushes him back and knocks him prone to the ground, and he just lands on the ground. He's like trying to get back up, and he's now belly crawling towards the gate to get through. Go ahead and roll damage, Buck.
8.
8. Okay. He's looking really rough. You see the skin peeling off of him from the wind wall, but he's crawling towards the gateway trying to get away. Anybody?
Mason, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was waiting. I didn't want to like jump in. The storm giant goddess is gonna come down with her great sword and just like try and like pin him to the ground while like shouting in this like ungodly voice, "For the elk!" and just come down with the great
roll
sword.
Advantage as you do it because he is prone.
Yep. That's a plus. I gotta see what the plus is for my attack. That's a 24 to hit.
Nice. That'll definitely hit. Roll for damage.
Okay, and that's and I get 2 attacks with that, but should I take both or?
I roll damage on that first attack. He's super rough.
Okay, so it's 66 plus 9. 6d6 plus 9. So that's 10. That's 19. 28. The first swing.
Okay.
And then if it's the multi-attack, I'll go on. I roll again.
You watch as the massive storm giant plunges the blade down into the figure of Asterisk. It cleaves right through him, pins him to the ground as his chest explodes outward, and Vasterisk just dies pinned by the sword. Let me restart my camera really quick. Give me a minute. Put my camera in shock.
Oh, I was gonna see if the Ironbound could throw me up there to help y'all out.
There's still a beacon up there?
Yeah. Or there
The
was.
lighthouse is still up there, yeah. So with that, Basilisk lies dead, but the fight goes on into the evening. The back and forth sway of this pitched battle will last for an hour. During this hour, how do each of you choose to try to help this battle to encourage its outcome in your favor?
I
Go
want
for
to
it, Spot.
climb along the climb along the vertical surfaces and just basically just leap off and shove and kick Bear Clan members off this structure. Yeah,
What skill do you want to use to do that? What's a good skill that you
Acrobatics.
use? Yeah, give me an
Absolutely.
acrobatics check as you do that. Yeah.
That is a 32.
Nice. Xanath, anything you want to do to kind of help this unfolding battle in your guys' favor?
Yeah, I'll throw up my Twilight Sanctuary and I'll be shooting strategic, healing words or cure wounds.
Okay, I love it. Is there a skill you want to associate with that?
How about medicine?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. That's a 26.
Puck, what would you like to do?
I would like to continue to use the elemental.
Okay, yeah, I love it.
Also from above, I can use the cantrip of Frostbite and Eldritch Blast.
Nice. Is there a skill you'd like to associate to this check? It'd be your
Stealth.
best skill. You can pick whatever skill you want.
Stealth.
Yeah, go for it. I love it.
You're just like airdropping Eldritch blasts and then like skirting away.
Like long dragon-like breath weapon attacks from lunch.
Do I get
very-
advantage because I'm doing it from above by any chance?
Yeah, I would say we'll give you advantage for that. That's well argued.
Thanks, because that was a nat 1. Okay, that's 22. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those puck rolls, man. Earthen, inspiring the elk void around you. They see the imagery of your form and are immediately like spurned into battle. They break their bonds. They grab weapons from the ground. They're hurling the Bear Clan off the cliff as the entire string of 100 or so elk clan warriors are now springing into action. What skill would you like to use, or what would you like to do to help push this battle in your favor?
The giant is gonna rip off the head of Vasterisk and like fasten it to her belt,
Oh, nice.
and then just be like Sauron, but a good version. Just like swinging this great sword,
Yeah.
cleaving through the Bear Clan.
What skill do you want to associate to this effort?
As I'm the storm giant now, it's gonna be strength. Easily
Yeah.
gonna be strength.
So athletics?
Sure.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
There should be an athletic stat for that
yeah.
in Storm Giant. Yeah.
Yep. Plus 14. So
Yeah, we'll go for it. Yeah, they're tough.
that's a 22 though.
You rolled an 8?
An 8. Yeah.
I love it. The battle wages for a solid hour. During this battle, I need each one of you to make a con save, please.
Yep.
Is it like against a spell effect, maybe?
No.
All right.
It's the act of waging an hour-long battle.
Okay.
26.
That's
What'd
an
you get, Puck?
15.
Okay. 18
I got it.
for Earthen. Zenith.
I got a 13.
Okay. Spot.
26.
Everybody but Spot takes a point of exhaustion from the battle. But as the battle winds down, as the last of the Bear Clan either flee from the field or flee from the assault of the Elk Voik clan, late day turns into the first kind of like beginnings of early evening as the battle diminishes and there's just that kind of silence around you as the battlefield winds down. It's quiet. The exhaustion begins to settle in. The Vassarisk is dead. The Elk Clan saved. And Vassarisk did not gain entrance into the lighthouse. What do you guys do?
Well, I'm super exhausted now. But I I revert to Earthen's form and with this giant now head of Vassarisk like falls to the ground beside me.
Do we see the elk chieftain anywhere?
He is nearby, bloodied, cut up, looking rough. But he's like grabbing onto Spot and giving him that kind of like half kind of, yeah, you know, and then running over to his, you know, his fallen warriors and picking them up. And, you know, the eventually way up above, the surviving members of the remains of the Elk Clan that went into hiding after the collapse of the village begin to emerge from the cliffscape and their hiding places to kind of tend to those that are wounded. The gable keeper, Talindra, eventually arrives, sees the Sky Reacher, runs over, like grabs onto the Sky Reacher and just kind of spins her around. It's a mixture of sadness because of the dead. The town still lies in ruins, but this feels like a measured victory at this point. It's nighttime. Everything around you is a recovering battlefield, the aftermath of it. But before long, the four of you kind of find yourselves off to the side, drinking water, kind of patching up people's wounds. Like Xanath can't help not to. So like Xanath, like there's, you know, they bring over wounded over to Xanath and she's like using her skills to heal people. Spot's doing what he can. Puck is doing what she can. You know, you guys are kind of passively just realizing that a lot has happened in a very short period of time.
I'm going to be playing like Song of Rest in the background.
Okay.
Spot wants to set up a field kitchen just to make sure all the survivors have something to eat.
And Puck wants to find punch.
Oh,
For a kitty that doesn't have to eat, he sure likes to cook.
I do. Hey, it's calming. It's meditative. I'm a monk. What do you want?
You know, if that's how you meditated, you know, I think we'd be way better off like this whole time. Because when you actually sit to meditate, something crazy always happens.
Look, it's not my fault my gods are interesting. Wait.
Before long, as Puck, as you bind the wound of one of the warriors, you see a familiar tiger kind of loping towards you in a sprint, and he is just covered in viscera. Blood, guts, bone, everything that was somebody else's is just covering his form. And he just leaps right on top of you, pins you to the ground, and just starts doing those big kind of tiger licks up and down your face, your cheek, and across your nose. And there's nothing worse than when it kind of gets into your ears, like his tongue kind of like goes into your ear. And then of course you're like really happy to see him, and his tongue kind of like, you're just like,
it's all good. I hug him. I don't care that it's covered in viscera.
You guys roll back again.
That.
Whew.
can I just look at the Ironbound and just see Puck just getting covered in gore from lunch and just be like, hey, that's good luck among my people.
The Ironbound goes, if it wasn't for so much happening, I'd be inclined to make an inquiry about that statement. You terrify me, Spot. Well thought. It just kind of gives you that hard slap on the shoulder as he just kind of goes over to the line of your like little kind of soup kitchen that you've ad hoc put together to kind of feed the people that were in hiding. It's that kind of like, for the next few hours, it's just a return of people that were in hiding, people that were injured. Those that have perished in the battle are being kind of reverently brought over to the burial cairns on the outskirts of the burnt down town of Fjordheim, as they're just kind of going through the routine of the aftermath of a battle. But for now, it's just the four of you by yourselves at the end of all this.
Earthen is like, he's playing, but he's just kind of like is in zombie mode. Just the battle and everything took a big toll, and so he's playing something, but he doesn't even know what he's playing.
That's fair.
Puck respectfully thanks the stone.
Yeah, you'll have to do a little more work on that stone. It's attuned to you now, so it's going to be a challenge, but you made the choice, so I'm going to let you live with it.
Not again.
But it was a unique experience for you. You still haven't shared that with anyone. They definitely saw you cast a very powerful spell that they haven't seen at such a severe power before, but there's, they're not aware of they're not any more aware of it than you are, right? For whatever reason, that stone bolstered your magic.
I do inform them of that. I'm not pulling another Dominion. I'm
That's
not
fair.
gonna go emo for this.
What was that? It was just something that was unleashed out of the stone or through you?
I have no idea. I know I haven't fully understood or connected with it yet, but it just gave me arcane magic, started to leak out arcane magic. I know it's probably not something I'm gonna be able to handle, but for now, I'm just gonna keep it and see what happens. And if I need to give it away, I'll give it away. I'm not making the same mistakes. That's some character growth.
I think you're right to hold on to it, though. I mean, we know Mason's looking for it, right?
Maybe that's... Do you think that might be why he's looking for it? Do you think he knows that he can use them to bolster something or himself?
Maybe. I wonder if he's trying to use them as some kind of portal, but maybe it is just, incredible magic.
I have no idea, but I'll keep you guys very well informed.
That beacon is still up there at the top of the lighthouse. We know Mason wants it. I would think he would come this way, right?
Did you see the figure of the Voik disappear into the light when he was forced in?
Mm-mm.
Oh, maybe we didn't.
No,
We were like way far away.
Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tell them what I saw.
Yeah. So Puck goes on to tell you that when she interrupted Phasphorus, he was casting spells and pushing the Voik prisoners into the lighthouse. There would be a flare of energy, and then the silhouette of a ghostly form of one of the Voik would drift off into the ether.
Would I be able to suss out like some kind of identity of a spell or some guess of a spell by her description with a roll?
Well, from your... Yeah, you give me an arcane or an insight check. Yeah, arcana or insight for that.
Ooh.
And the one thing you guys do have a memory of is that the effect on the captain and her betrothed, the cursed effect that they claim to have suffered when they entered the lighthouse. It was almost as if Vassarisk was trying to breach that protective barrier of the lighthouse by sacrificing these entities, these Voik, into the lighthouse.
That was a 26.
26. He
For Arcana,
was, he was casting a kind of cantrip that enforced like a charm effect. He was like making them docile and then throwing them into the lighthouse as if they were willingly being thrown into the lighthouse or entering the lighthouse.
Maybe one of the Voiks overheard his plans.
Oh, speaking of, before we forget, kind of look through Vassarisk's corpse, just see if he has anything interesting on him.
Give me an investigation check as the others are kind of discussing what's been happening, and you kind of wander over to where Vassarisk's corpse has just been kind of set down for your investigation and to determine what you want to do with it.
You always gotta have me do investigation on corpses, not sleight of hand. I get it. It's fine. It's fine.
You gotta look at it
fine,
first.
not what you take.
Yeah, you gotta look at it first, right?
No real challenge at stealing from a corpse.
Let's try physical dice and see if those goblins like me more. That is a 17.
See, dice are fun. Do you have any bonuses for investigation?
No, none. Zero.
You find his spell book. This is different than the first one. This is a much more powerful spell book. It contains spells up to level 9 inside of it. You also find in a satchel that he had on him, strapped to his back, you find a familiar device that you remember seeing in the castle. He's got a keystone on him as well. Only it's been carved as if he intended to put a very similar looking size stone to what Puck has into the keystone. Almost as if he was brought this to contain the stone inside once he was successful with gaining entrance into the lighthouse. He has no physical wealth on him. He does have a ring of protection +3. He's got a ring of spellcast bonus modifier of +5. He's got a ring of invisibility, and he's also carrying. He also has a belt of the Wanderer on his personage, which allows him to step in and out of the ethereal plane at will. And then he has a discharged wand. He used his last charge of his wand to open up a gateway, as it is a wand of summon gate.
I know
it's currently fully discharged. It can be recharged, but it would require a powerful person of arcane magic to recharge it.
All right, I know I missed one. I got the spellbook, the keystone, the ring of protection +3, the ring of spellcast modifier +5, the belt of the Wanderer, the discharge wand, and what was the last thing? Because I know
ring of invisibility.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just real quick, do we think that maybe the one keystone we saw contained the one beacon that they already stole, and that they need them to somehow do something to the castle?
The keystone back at the castle felt more like a preservation effect to keep that part of the castle intact. Like maybe he was there studying something. It's possible he was trying to learn how the painting worked, but because he didn't have the fate coin that was gifted to Spot by the Fey Witch, it couldn't be activated. Whether or not that's the only way to activate it, you may never know because the painting's been destroyed.
Destroyed now.
But clearly, Mason was trying to gain access to that painting. The fact that Vassarisk has another keystone, he was fully anticipating on gaining entrance into the lighthouse, as if whatever active stone is in there, he would then adhere to the keystone. The inactive one, they maybe use as a way to test or design the keystone, because the inactive stone, for all intents and purposes, once it was used, by the undead turtle entity, it absorbed the last bit of energy of that active beacon, and it no longer became a viable beacon once he passed on, or once you guys released him from his unending kind of death that he couldn't ever fall away from. You get the feeling that this is simply them trying to harvest the power of what these beacons are capable of. And you've probably set his plans back pretty significantly at this point.
Let's celebrate this victory. We might. It's been a second. But that's good. That means that the one that they already have might not help them as much as they want to.
Because it's sort of inactive at this point?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
And do we want to decide who gets what as far as the loot?
I could really use that ring of protection.
I want that spellcast modifier one. Sounds pretty sweet.
All right. Do you have the stats for Belt of the Wanderer? Because I didn't see that.
Belt of the Wanderer is really easy. I'll put it in later. It's it's as a bonus action, up to 3 times a day. You can step into the ethereal plane and then step right back out.
Ooh.
I would also use that wand if we can get it recharged. I was going to show it to Tilly if anybody's got any better ideas.
I'm really sorry. I'm not really good with Arcana that way. I'm more of a potions girl, flora, fauna, alchemy, components. I can do those things, but I don't recharge relics or items. Sorry.
It was worth a shot.
That's fine. That's fine. Listen, I'm gonna go vomit for a while and then recover, and then get a real long sleep. It's been a day. This has been a day.
While she goes away to vomit, can I detect thoughts her?
Ooh.
You want to do detect thoughts, surface thoughts, or deeper thoughts?
Deep thoughts. I want to know if she is actually with us, or if she's gonna go to the side and commune with some dark entity.
I won't even make a save for it. You get the feeling that she's not with you, and she's not really against you. She's just in shock. This is not what she planned. This is not how she expected this whole thing to go. And from her perspective, she's just in shock from the event.
Okay, that's good, I guess.
That's good.
Well, she's not gonna betray us, it appears, so that's good. And what's left of the objects, real quick?
There's the Ring of Invisibility, the Ring of Protection +3, the Spellcast modifier bonus of +4 or +5, the Belt of the Wanderer, and then the Spellbook.
All right. Do any of these not require attunement? Just out of curiosity.
The only one that doesn't require attunement is the Belt of the Wanderer.
All right, because I might want that because I don't have it yet, but upcoming abilities kind of let me slip in and out of the astral plane, so that might be helpful.
I'll take the spellbook. Maybe there are some good warlocky dark magic in it for me.
Oh, definitely.
Like, you say that, and I'm gonna look over at you like, are you serious?
Listen, that's my most powerful spells at the moment.
Yeah, weren't you a ranger? Don't you shoot stuff? When was the last time you actually shot something?
Not since I didn't need to.
Not since you realized she's a horrible shot.
I have advantage on my shots, okay?
I know you do.
It is simply that manual labor is a lot more difficult than blasting things with my mind.
Oh, so you're just lazy.
Yeah.
Or she's adaptive. I think it's a little different. So, this sometimes happens and it sometimes doesn't happen. So this battle event was also a milestone because the defeat of Vasserus was a milestone as well.
Nice.
So technically, I think you guys are going to become level 19, correct?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another milestone.
We also, as part of this milestone, because it's Vasarisk's defeat, which marks a key pivot point in the battle against Mason, we're also going to have a time dilation. The immediate threat is expunged. Vasarisk is no longer a direct threat, and Mason has not intervened at this point, almost as if he's unsure as to what to do, which affords you guys as a group to kind of have some time and opportunity. And basically, you get 2 months of time dilation to basically do and work and interact with things at will. How you want to consume that 2 months, I'm going to leave up to you guys to make that choice. It could be simply the act of studying what you've collected so far, helping the Voik rebuild their community, establishing more trust with the other clans to kind of prove that Mason and Vasarisk was only leading them towards the eventual defeat. And, you know, the idea of preparing yourselves for this upcoming final confrontation with Mason, kind of preparing yourself to better understand what he's actually trying to do and work or research or kind of work on anything that you want to get done. However, for fun tonight, let's go ahead and level up to 19, roll your appropriate hit dice, and let's discuss what it means to be level 19 and what are your guys' thoughts about taking on what you want to do next. I think it's kind of a fun idea.
I got some plans there.
I have an idea that with my belt and some other things that might be kind of fun for what we did tonight, because that lets me enter the ethereal plane, right?
Yeah, and we hadn't done like a theater of the mind quick battle for a while. I felt with your guys' return, because I wasn't sure if you were going to come right back to the village or end up somewhere else. So once you immediately made the choice to come back to the village, it kicked off that encounter with Vasarisk. So rather than it be kind of like a long out traditional battle, because he was in the midst of doing what he was doing, it felt more like this should be just that quick turn of events of you guys reacting, acting to what was going on. By the way, it's very similar to how Daggerheart is done in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun to have it be sort of like a narrative flow.
Mm. It helped because it still gives you time to think about what you want to do and still gives your outcomes a lot of value to what you were attempting to do as well.
That's why I waited with my hand up. I was like, wait, if somebody's going to do something else, I'm just going to wait. I was here to wait. I don't want to, I don't want to steal the glory of somebody else.
I was waiting to get within 200 feet, and I was either going to bamf up there or have the Iron God try to throw me up there. But it's like, no. I'll sit down here and just like keep freeing people, keep beating up the Bear Clan.
Oh my God, you guys are level 19.
19.
What the actual fuck?
That's crazy.
Well, it's funny. I created this campaign in D&D Beyond, like the physical entry of the campaign.
Yep.
March 8th of 2022.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's when I created it. I think we've started a few weeks after that, if I recall. So it's been over 2 years at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, we started like my birthday's in a little more than a week. It's not Saturday, but the next Saturday. And we started like right around my birthday.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was my birthday gift to myself was this.
Yeah. Gift that just keeps on giving.
So
Errand, what are you thinking of doing with your level? You're full bard, right?
Oh, I'm full bard. Yeah.
So you're going to be a full level 19 bard.
I'm the bardiest bard that ever barded.
Is there anything interesting at level 19 for a bard, or is it still that final level 20 attainment?
Well, ability score improvement, and then I picked up magical secrets at 18. So I got 2 more, like I can pick and choose spells now.
Oh, okay.
So like I picked 2 more spells to add to from any school to add to their repertoire, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So-
Makes sense.
Yeah, and that was where I picked up telepathic bond. So, like, moving forward in fights, I'm thinking before we go into a fight, that telepathic bond between the 4 of us, that way we don't give out our
I
tactics.
thought for sure Puck was below 100 hit points when Basilisk made
Mhm.
that latch-dist effort to use power word kill, which kills you outright.
Yeah.
There's only reincarnation that brings you back from that.
Yep. I was ready
even
to
worse,
dive in front of
He
that.
did
honestly.
have Disintegrate ready to go, but he used his last spell slot for Gate, and therefore he was trying to escape. Disintegrate, there's no recovery. You don't come back, period.
Oh.
Die, you dead.
I
Glad
I
to.
was gonna read that book of the Tome of Strength, though.
Over
over this
the
dilation
course of your
period.
dilation, okay,
Yeah, so that gives 2 ability points to that.
to strength, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
Okay.
I read the Tome of Wisdom?
Of knowledge, yeah, it's up to the rest of the group if you want to.
I need
Okay.
it.
Oh, is it
Okay.
only one person? Okay.
Yeah, only one person can consume the effect.
You're fine.
Besides, you're more adorable, not smart, Spot.
Was it intelligence or wisdom? I'm genuinely
It's
curious.
intelligence.
It's intelligent.
Intelligence.
Yeah, don't no that shit.
Actually, I'm just more for intelligence. So if somebody needs it more, they can have it.
No.
I've got the sword, so I'm good on intelligence.
I have +1 to intelligence. I have a 13 intelligence, but I think intelligence is something like you use more, right? For like your skills. I don't really use it for anything, so it's just that I fail all my intelligence saving throws.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you're
it might be
pretty
more
scared.
useful to you to have a really good intelligence score.
If it's okay. I mean, if you okay,
Yeah, no, go for it.
I will be a mildly intelligent gnome then. I'll see how that new life suits me.
Well, you'll be +5, right?
I'll be +6.
+6?
Yeah,
You'll be an extremely intelligent gnome.
I'm gonna get
Wait,
some.
you would get a
Wait.
+6 on your intelligence
Was it
by adding 2 ability points?
Yeah, because I have +4 right now.
No.
What's your ability score
Oh,
for intelligence? What's it currently at?
not in my saving throw.
It's like
No,
my
Your
strength.
ability score, like what's
My-
the number? Your intelligence number.
My strength is a
Four.
4. A 4.
Well, hold on,
+4
Ertan, hold on.
/ 18.
Okay, so your intelligence is currently an 18. So if
Yeah.
you read the tome, right, you go
Yeah.
from an 18 to a 20. It gives you +2.
Oh my god, wait,
Yeah.
that would
So
be great.
make a change because you'll do that during your time dilation with your 2 month of downtime because it takes a month to memorize and execute the tome. So we change your 18 to a 20 and see what that changes your score to.
Oh my god, that's very exciting. Okay, yes, I will do that. Thank you guys.
Okay. Also, if you have any arcane magic, I think it helps you out with your spell attack modifier if you're arcane based versus nature versus divine.
Yep.
Ooh. I guess we'll see.
Don't forget, Xanath, now that you have some downtime, you may want to try to get a revelation or a full reveal off that Helm's charm that was given to you all those sessions ago as well.
I'll keep meditating on that and communing with Helm and see if I can crack it.
Okay.
So this 2-month rest would also finally reset our exhaustion too, I think, right?
Correct. All your exhaustion, click off a long rest, all that can go away. For Earthen and Puck, consuming the tomes, the Tome of Knowledge and the Tome of Strength will give you those bonuses.
Yep.
Xanath, what does level 19 do for your cleric? Because you're full cleric, right?
Yeah, I'm full cleric. So at this point, I'm undecided on whether I'll take a feat or take 2 more points to Constitution. But I have a couple more spells. My Twilight Sanctuary now gives half cover to people who are in it.
Nice.
Which is pretty sweet. Yeah. It's just more cleric-y goodness.
More cleric-y
Oh, yeah.
goodness. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, I also get peerless skill now. So when I make an ability check, I can use an inspiration for myself.
Nice. Oh yeah, you can inspire yourself now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many bardic inspirations do you get now at level 19?
2,
7
4,
or 8?
5. 5.
5?
So, yeah, but they're
Yeah.
all D12s. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all D12s. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Spot, what is your monk looking like? Because you're pure monk or monk and rogue,
No, I
right?
have one level of rogue.
Okay. So you're level 18 monk and level 1 rogue.
Yeah.
What does your level 18 monk look like now? What are some things you gain?
I just got the empty body, so at 18th level, I can spend 4 key points to become invisible for 1 minute, which is
Nice.
partially why I wanted to know that. Or I can spend 8 to cast the astral projection spell.
Ooh, that's huge.
Yeah, that's gonna be
That's
fun.
huge. You could actually, if you could figure out where Mason is, you could go challenge him one-on-one.
I actually, I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to give you ideas with some other stuff, but yeah. So, yeah. But I actually asked you a question in the chat a while back. I don't think I ever got a.
In DM or
I don't remember. I can't remember because I have so many different things going on. But let me find out.
yeah, I don't see anything. Are you talking about tonight's session or previous?
No,
session?
no, this is a while. This is a while.
Oh, okay. If you right-click
Oh.
my DM and hit message me, it should show you what you said
Yeah,
previously.
This is a while back. I just asked, like,
Gotcha.
officially in my in the empty body, it says I cannot bring other people with me. I did ask, like,
That's right.
Extra key points. At the cost of extra key points, can I do that? I
think that's a great thing for you to study during your downtime. And then we can write a key feature for it that will say during your downtime, you learn how to do that. And when we come back next week, we'll work on that. Yeah, I like that. And you're right. I do remember that being a conversation because it was kind of an interesting twist on that effect, that ability. Look at that smile on Puck's face.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at possible feats.
Forgive me.
Are you looking at the goth girl feats or just the ones that don't take you down the dark hallway?
I am debating very heavily which way to go with that.
Plus, you have Vassar's spellbook. You could spend
Yes.
some time studying that spellbook and see if you can learn any of the spells that he knows.
Very excited to go full Voldemort at some point. Yes,
Full
just a
Voldemort.
really short one.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2.5 foot tall Voldemort. Yeah, it's perfect. That fits right in alignment with. Did you guys roll hit points yet?
Yes.
So, Spot, what's your total hit point pool now?
257.
Oh,
Ooh.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ!
god.
Tough as
Okay. Eartha, what are you up to in hit points now? You still squishy?
Oh, I'm very squishy still. 71.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Brutal.
That's that -1 to Constitution. Yeah.
Yeah. Xanath, how you looking on hit points?
Well, if I take the con bonus, I'll have 171 hit points.
Wow, that's actually pretty good for a cleric.
Yeah, I rolled a 7 and an 8 on these 2 level ups, which is pretty sweet.
There's still 2 more milestones depending on how you guys make choices from this point on. That's why I like to use time dilation because it gives you a chance to catch your breath, kind of experience the full reward of getting to a point where you've had success by killing Basilisk and kind of shifting the momentum away from Mason and more towards you. You guys have now kind of become the hunter looking for Mason, and Mason's been knocked back on his feet because he keeps failing to find what he needs. And with the destruction of the Soul Catcher painting, you've definitely knocked him back on his feet. So I have a separate arc for him when this happens, and now that's the final arc that's going to kick in now that it happened. But yeah, level 20 looks very probable at this point. Very
Yay.
probable, depending on the next choices you guys make next week for the duration of the campaign.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I did have one question just because it was a thing that it's popped up once or twice, but I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I did get the recipe for the pastries of intelligence. Guys, could be part of the thing where, like, if perfected, it increases intelligence. That was the thing there.
No, because food's never been designed for that. Like, reading a magical tome for 30 days is why you get that benefit. Food's a very passive benefit. It's more about temporary effects.
You're right. That was more. I thought I had that written down wrong. It was also like, throw that at Puck because intelligence doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, it's like advantage or temporary hit points or kind of like what's that spell you use sometimes, Zenith, to enhance ability. So like you can make food products or like with your cooking proficiency that grants like temporary benefits. Otherwise, food becomes not a good kind of like medium for permanent benefits. It doesn't really have the ability to contain enough magical influence to make that happen well.
All right. I did want to ask one thing of the group just before we sign off for the night. Just kind of once we've got back from our 2 months and everything, it's a good thing. Just kind of ask them a question like together. Just, do you want me to really, really piss face off? Because I can do that right now.
What do you have in mind?
I can go back to the castle that we escaped from a few months ago, and I'm thinking I can destroy that keystone. I can ruin that for him now.
And if you did that, it would cause the preservation of the castle to immediately cease, and the castle itself would deteriorate into just rubble and ruin. That much you know about keystones. As long as you take some of this downtime to then study keystones and what keystones mean and how they harness power or can be used to harness powerful objects or powerful spells. Yeah. I love that.
As we have a keystone on us, he's got something to study.
That's fair. Yeah. So with that in mind, over this week, think about, a handful of things you want to do during the downtime. Some of that's already been decided. I feel like Spot's going to study the keystones and study their strengths and weaknesses. Puck and Earthen consume the tomes, but that still frees up a month of activity that you can use for other things. I know, Zenith, you're being meditative about the champion's charm that Helm gave you. But, think of a couple more things that you guys would like to accomplish during the downtime. And then we'll work on those when we meet again next Sunday. For everyone else, thank you for joining us. This has been really fun. I love, as much as it makes me sad when campaigns get closer and closer to their potential endings, it's so much fun to watch both players and characters kind of mature with each other. Thinking about how, let's be transparent here. Think about how insecure you were, Tally, at the beginning of all this and how overwhelmed by it you were, but yet you really, really wanted to learn and you really, really wanted to have this fantasy adventure. That's amazing. I mean, it's been amazing to watch you learn to love this game as much as this game as I've loved this game since I was 9 years old. And I seriously hope you're getting what you want from this, that fun factor that we've always made the center of the focus of this game. And Zenith, I mean, you're now fiance, right? Boyfriend to fiance to, who knows, in campaign 2, husband, then wherever it goes, right? But he's got to be proud of you. I mean, he's probably jealous too.
Oh yeah. And I met him, I remember I talked about this campaign on our first date because I met him right after I started.
This campaign's as old as your relationship with your fiance. Yeah. And those are the things I think people find inspiring, when they have these opportunities to play and have fun and meet people and dedicate some fantasy time to unwind from your normal kind of life that you have to live every day and be able to play somewhere safely. You know, it's been an amazing, and now that the final arc has been determined by what just happened tonight, you know, everything's written, everything's done, everything's now based on the remaining choices that you guys make throughout the rest of this campaign. I feel like for some planning perspective, well, we'll say goodnight to everyone, and then we'll take 5 minutes to talk about campaign 2, because I want to take some time with you. So everyone be safe, be kind. Don't forget to play a game. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Bye. Watch it. You know, so it's right there. It's right there. It's right there. Where'd Xanath go? Why did Xanath
Oh,
leave?
God. What's she?
She left.
She distracted me, and I don't know where she went, and I was gonna hit